Hello and welcome to the tutorial with Tony from Bet2Tech. In this video we'll create a point-to-site connection, which is in other words a VPN connection from a location to your Azure environment. So this is called point-to-site, and the use case for this is we have some VMs and say we want to connect to these VMs, but best practices for sure security is to not have this many public addresses exposed to from your environment. So the goal is to reduce IP addresses and safely connect into your cloud VMs without public IP address. So point to site can achieve that, and that's what we'll do today in this demo. So we have the VM, no public IP address, just simply set up behind our isolated environment. So what we need to do next is to create a virtual network gateway, and it's our VPN solution that will enable us to talk to our VMs without public IP address. So instance detail will say virtual network gateway or virtual gateway, and we'll call this point to site. We'll put this in central US. It will leave this a VPN and route based. The SKU, this for high availability, so dual VPNs or more. I don't know what they bring, but I know that this is for a higher availability, so you have more VPNs available, not just this one like I will here. Generation 1's fine. Virtual network, I will put that in this one, and what this will do here is create a gateway subnet address space or address range. So the virtual network gateway itself needs to be on its own subnet, so that's what this is doing here. Just to be sure, I want to go and check my VNet just to see. I think we can put this one, but just in case, like I said. And you might want to do this too. Depends on how you want to organize this. I think I only have one address space here. Yes, and the subnet, I want to put, okay, I'm going to do a 4. So, see, just to make sure, because if I did 0 or any other 1, 2, or 3, it would say no, but now I 4. Public IP address, this you'll need. So you'll need one public IP address to talk to as many VMs as you want in your environment, but you do need this one. So you still get to have one exposed. All right, create new point to site IP. That works. Tags. I like to put tags on all my stuff. So we'll do that. This is for my demos. This is me, and the resource name will be point to site. All right, whatever name I gave it, I forgot. Virtual gateway point to site. So I like to give my resources a resource tag called resource name, and I give it exact name. I don't know why. This I use specifically with VMs and doing other kind of solutions, so don't worry about that too much. Right? And then this is going to take about 10 to 15 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it and come back later. All right, the virtual network gateway is created. Now we need to open up PowerShell, and I'm gonna run the first script. It's gonna create a certificate. Then I'm gonna run the second script, and there we go. So minimize that, and to see what we just created, we'll do start art. We're opening this MMC, and we'll get this window. What we want to do is add or remove snap-in. Select certificate, add, finish, and OK. And now we can access our certificate. So go to personal certificates, and here we'll see the child certificate and the root certificate that we created. You need these two. You need your root for your VM and your child, the public, for the point to site, which we'll configure that here in a minute. So go back to the certificate manager, and we're going to right click the root cert, all tasks, and export. We're going to click continue. All right, so we're going to click no. Then we're going to do base 64, next, and the file name, just wherever we want this to be, we'll just put it on a desktop. And this is to be called point to site root certificate. Save, then next, finish. All right, successful. All right, now we gotta find where we put that. So in my desktop, I'm gonna go ahead and you can't see it, but I'll move the screen. You'll see in a second. I'm trying to get some things out of the way. Here we go. So this is what we just exported. We're gonna go ahead and open with, and we're gonna hit Notepad. Then I'm gonna copy all of this. And then, so whatever you open on your notepad, you just copy that for the next few steps that we're about to take. Before we jump back into the portal, now we need to export the child certificate. We hit next. Yes, we want to export the private key, and it's going to be personal. That's good. And then now we need to put in a password. So let me find. And then confirm. All right. Next, we want to put that also on desktop, and this is going to be point to site child cert. Save, and next, finish, and done. All right, so that child key is right over here. So let's go to the portal now, and on the virtual gateway that we created, go to point to site configuration and configure now. Okay, once we're here, we need to put an address pool, and this is just any address pool, really. I like to put this one. Terminal type will be the very last one. Name, just give it your name because we're about to put the certificate data on there. And so to get that, we go to the root cert. We open with Notepad, and then we'll copy just the inside, the what's on the certificate, and then we'll just drop that on here and hit save. The next thing is to download the VPN client. So after you enter this information and this has been configured, and you save it, the download client will become ready for you to download because it'll create a package specifically for you. So once you have that downloaded, you be able to install your network gateway on your PC. All right, now we see we have a zip file at the very bottom. So this is what it'll look like when you open it. You want to open whichever operating system you're running. This is the one I'm running, so I'm going to execute this and just go ahead and extract all. There we go. Probably had to extract that first, and now we can install it. And okay, sure. Don't you worry about that. The prompt will come up and something like this will. So here it's saying, do you wish to install a VPN client for VNet Personal Central 001? So this, we did not configure that anywhere on here. However, this is the VNet in which our virtual gateway point to site host is located. So yes, I do want to connect to that because that is the VNet where I have the VMs that I want to connect to. So now go ahead and open up our Wi-Fi settings, and you'll see here that there are some connections up here that I have. So the one that I just recently connected to was VNet Personal Central 001. I'm gonna go ahead and click connect. This is what will pop up. This is the gateway that we just installed. Hit connect. Hit yes on the prompt, and now it's reading the certificate that we previously exported and installed on our VM or our computer. So now we're connected. All we need to do is simply go to remote desktop. This is my VM. Connect. Oops. And voila. All right, now our VM just fired up. So there is our VM, and just to show here on our Azure, if we go to that VM, you'll realize that there's now a public IP address. There's not one. It's actually using the private IP address through the network gateway that we installed and enabled the certificates with. So now you see it. This solution will basically eliminate having public IP addresses on every VM. There are other ways to do this as well. You can use Azure Bastion, other types of VPNs, but this point to site, it's recommended for security best practices when you're connecting from a remote location to your cloud environment. And that brings me to the end of this video, which was to enable point to site VPN connection from a remote location to your cloud environment. We did that by creating 2 certificates, creating a virtual network gateway on your Azure environment. There are some certain configurations we must keep in mind, such as the gateway subnet must be on its own separate subnet. We must configure the root certificate's key inside the configure window of the gateway, and we just simply install the VPN network gateway packet, and within a few steps we're able to connect to our VMs without public IP address. I hope you like this video. If you learned something, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.